When the universe chooses you, it also chooses to protect you, no matter the cost. Chosen ones, listen carefully. Your season of defense has arrived. Someone is finally stepping up, not to use you, not to drain you, but to stand by you, to defend you with everything they have, not with empty words, but with actions, with presence, with power. The shift is real, and it's shaking the ground beneath your enemy's feet. You were never the weak one. They just hoped you'd believe you were. They tried to break you because they knew they couldn't become you. But the truth they never wanted to admit. You were never alone. You were never forgotten. The universe was never ignoring you. It was preparing the response. The attacks against you weren't just personal. They were cosmic mistakes, because when they moved against you, they weren't just fighting a person. They were fighting the chosen. They were fighting alignment. And now the universe is answering back. Before we go deeper, if this message hits home, like and subscribe. Help this message reach more chosen ones like you. When you engage, it tells the algorithm that more people need to hear this, that this isn't just content, it's confirmation. You see, the universe doesn't need to announce when it moves, but when it does, it moves in ways that shake the system. And that's what's happening now. You gave, and gave again. You held others up while your own strength was ignored. You offered your loyalty, your energy, your time, without expecting anything back. And still, they turned on you, smiled in your face, whispered behind your back, tried to erase you like you were forgettable. But chosen ones are never forgettable. We're unforgettable because we were sent. This new person coming into your life, they're not just anyone. They're aligned. They're locked in with your mission. They see your value clearly because they're sent by the same force that chose you. They're not confused about your worth. They're not intimidated by your light. They respect it. They protect it. And they'll defend it at any cost. That scares your enemies more than anything. Because your power with backup, that's a threat they can't handle. They're used to you being alone, isolated, questioning yourself. But now, you're about to be supported, seen, and surrounded. You thought you had to fight this battle by yourself, but the universe is correcting that. The scales are tipping. This is justice. Chosen ones, not by human hands, but by alignment. You're not being saved. You're being reinforced. Your light haunted them before, and now your rise will wreck them. And it's not even revenge. It's resonance. You're resonating with people and energy that matches you, that uplifts you, that mirrors your strength back to you. So don't apologize. Don't shrink. Don't question the shift. The universe moves with precision, and it's moving for you now. Let them watch. Let them whisper. You've got nothing to prove and everything to receive. The abundance that's coming is the result of everything you gave when no one saw. It's not just payback. It's purpose paying off. Chosen ones, it's your time. And this time, you're not standing alone. So if you've ever been crossed by someone who thought you were weak, quiet, easy to play, this message is your confirmation. Because when someone makes the mistake of going against a chosen one, the universe remembers. Drop the number 77 in the comments if you've ever been underestimated, just so we know who's still standing. Stay with me, because what's coming next? It'll remind you exactly why the universe never let you fall. If you're truly chosen, you'll feel it deep. Let's get into it. Number 1. When you starve the right one, the universe feeds them in front of you. They laughed when you struggled. Now they'll choke on their own ego, watching you get everything they thought they buried. This is what happens when someone tries to play games with the system that was built to protect you. They weren't just messing with a person, they were pushing against the current of the universe itself. And trust me, the universe doesn't take betrayal of its chosen ones lightly. You were generous, too generous. You gave your time, your energy, your love, your ideas. You held people up when they couldn't stand on their own, and in return, they smiled in your face while trying to cut you down behind your back. They mistook your patience for weakness, your humility for inferiority, your silence for surrender. But chosen ones don't fold. We observe. And while you were observing, the universe was documenting every insult, every betrayal, every fake smile, and every door slammed in your face. And now it's payback, but not the petty kind, the universal kind, the kind that shifts the entire energy around you, the kind that turns tables so violently that people who once sat at the head now find themselves on the floor. They thought they were winning. Let them. Because they didn't realize the biggest mistake you can make is hurting someone the universe is actively protecting. It's like mocking a seed in winter. They didn't know you were just underground, preparing to rise. And now, they don't just see you growing, they feel the heat of your harvest. This is your season of receiving. That's not a cliche, it's a consequence. The consequence of your consistency, of your loyalty, of your integrity. You didn't play dirty, you didn't beg, you didn't retaliate, you just kept building, even while bleeding. And that's exactly why the universe has aligned someone right now to come into your life with clarity, support, and elevation. Someone who doesn't drain you, but develops you. Someone who brings not just talk, but tools. They're not here to save you. You never needed saving. They're here to multiply what's already inside you, to take your vision and help you scale it, financially, emotionally, energetically. And this isn't charity. It's divine compensation. Because the universe doesn't forget the ones who gave from empty cups. And it doesn't let its chosen ones suffer forever. Yes, it took time, longer than you wanted, but there's a reason for that too. You had to learn who was with you only for the struggle, and who will stand beside you in the success. You had to learn not to doubt your own light, even when it felt like no one else saw it. Let's talk about that. This habit you had of questioning your worth, of wondering, maybe I am too much, or maybe I really am the problem. No, you weren't too much. You were just too real for fake people, too strong for weak minds, too deep for shallow souls. Stop doubting the design. The universe picked you for a reason, and when you're chosen, you're held to a different standard because you're built for a different purpose. Your challenges were training, your pain was preparation, and your silence? That was strategy. Let them laugh, let them underestimate, because they're not laughing anymore. Not when you're glowing with peace they can't disturb, walking through doors they never knew existed, and aligning with people who don't just clap for you. They build with you. They thought they broke you, but in trying to bury you, they watered the soil. And now they have to sit front row and watch what it looks like when the universe steps in and says, enough. This is the power of being chosen. When your season comes, it comes with interest. Everything you lost is being returned, multiplied. Everything stolen is being replaced, upgraded. And everyone who doubted you, they're being silenced, not by your words, but by your results. So walk like it, own it, speak like someone who's backed by the force that made the stars, because you are, and they can feel it now. The shift is happening, the tables are turning, and this time, you're not coming to survive. You're here to thrive. Number 2, you can't heal in the same room that made you bleed. They didn't walk away, they were removed. The universe pulled them out like poison. Be grateful you survived the infection. Let's stop sugarcoating it. You were drained, used, taken for granted by people who wore the mask of support while sucking the life out of you behind your back. They didn't love you. They loved your light, your healing, your presence. The way you made them feel like they mattered, while they made you question if you did. That's not love, that's theft. And those people, those so-called friends, lovers, family members, even co-workers, let's call them what they are: energy vampires, parasites dressed in compliments, leeches disguised as loyalty. They didn't want to see you grow. They just wanted to stay close enough to feed off your glow. They'd applaud you in public and curse your name in private. They'd borrow your strength and then blame you when they failed to rise. But here's the truth. They never intended to build with you. They just knew you were the foundation, and they hoped you wouldn't notice how heavy they were getting. Well, the universe noticed. You see, the universe doesn't need your permission to protect you. It waits, it watches, but once it's clear you're too loyal to cut off the poison yourself, it'll rip it out for you, painfully, suddenly, completely. That's why that connection broke without warning. That's why they ghosted. That's why you were betrayed so viciously. It wasn't just an ending. It was an extraction. You didn't lose them. You were freed. They weren't just bad for you. They were blocking your next level. Your energy was too valuable to keep wasting on bottom feeders. And the universe knew that. That's why everything that wasn't built on truth is collapsing now. Not because you're cursed, but because you're chosen. Let's get this straight. Being chosen doesn't mean being worshipped. It means being targeted, because your light exposes lies. Your energy disturbs demons. Your purpose doesn't align with comfort zones and the people in your life. They couldn't keep pretending once your glow got too bright. So they had two choices: grow or get out. And most of them chose to get out. Don't cry for that. Don't mourn the loss of those who were draining you. That wasn't rejection. That was divine intervention. Still confused? Still wondering why it hurt so much? Let's break it down. You're not crazy for loving deeply. You're not weak for wanting connection. You're just powerful. And powerful people attract everything: lovers, liars, healers, haters. The light doesn't discriminate who it shines on. But that doesn't mean you should let everyone stay in your sun. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not everyone is meant to be in your circle. Just because they had access doesn't mean they had good intentions. You've got to stop letting loyalty keep you in places where you're only being used. That's not love. That's self-destruction. Stop watering dead plants and wondering why nothing's blooming in your life. Some of these people were never meant to go with you. They were lessons, detours, distractions. The breakup? the betrayal, the sudden silence, that was your soul being saved. You see, vampires don't stop feeding until there's nothing left. You think they'd have left you on their own? Never. They would have drained you dry and then blamed you for being empty. That's why the universe had to step in. And now, look at you, still here, still rising, still glowing, even after they tried to dim everything about you. And if you're still wondering why they turned on you after all the love you gave them, it's because they knew they could never become you. So they tried to break you, because broken things are easier to copy. But they forgot. Being chosen means you don't break. You transform. You don't shrink in darkness. You adapt. You burn brighter. You become unignorable. You're not meant to be small. You're not meant to be quiet. You're not meant to be surrounded by people who only clap when they're ahead of you. You're meant to lead. So stop looking back. Stop missing what was only meant to last one chapter. The people who left weren't your tribe. They were placeholders, tests, noise. And now that they're gone, your path is clear. This is your clean slate. This is your rebirth. This is the clearing, the great removal of everything and everyone not aligned with your purpose. And yes, it's lonely. Yes, it's confusing. But it's also the most powerful space you'll ever step into. Because in this clearing, you can finally hear yourself. You can finally rebuild from truth. You can finally step into the real you without carrying the weight of everyone else's shadows. Chosen one, your light was never meant to be shared with just anybody. And now that the energy vampires are gone, your power is returning, stronger, sharper, focused. So what's next? Reconstruction. You're not healing to return to who you were. You're healing to activate who you've always been. They underestimated you. They fed off you, but they never broke you. So now, rise with purpose, with pride, with power. Walk like someone who survived the storm and became the lightning. Speak like someone who lost everything fake and gained everything real. Move like someone the universe personally defends. This isn't just motivation. This is confirmation. Your peace is protected. Your path is cleared. Your energy is sacred. And your time, it's now. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them regret. But don't let them back in. Because once the vampires are gone, you don't open the window again, just because the night looks calm. You close the door, you lock it, and you build the kingdom they thought you'd never live to see. You're not just chosen, you're untouchable now. Number 3, they didn't break you. They built your weapon. Some came dressed as blessings, but were really the tests. And now that you've passed, the rewards are hunting you down. Let's cut through the noise. This pain you've been carrying, it was never meant to break you. It was the chisel, the sculptor's tool, the blade that carved your purpose out of your silence. You're not broken. You're being reshaped. And every tear, every betrayal, every lonely night was part of the blueprint. Those people, the ones who smiled in your face while secretly trying to block your shine, they were never real. They were actors in your training ground, masks over motives, envy hidden behind fake encouragement. They didn't want to help you rise. They wanted a front row seat to your fall. Not because you failed them, but because your presence reminded them of everything they're not. They called it love, but you felt the tension. You saw how they only clapped when your win didn't outshine theirs. You heard the silence when your name was mentioned in rooms full of noise. They claimed loyalty, but loyalty without honesty is just manipulation in disguise. Wake up. That heartbreak you're nursing, that ache in your chest, that's not damage, that's displacement, the pulling away of everything that couldn't go where you're headed. The universe does not subtract without a reason. It removes to replace. It clears to rebuild. It shakes the ground to make sure your next chapter isn't built on cracks. You're not falling apart. You're shedding dead skin. The pieces of your life that were only pretending to fit are being ripped away, so your true alignment can finally lock into place. This isn't destruction, it's redirection. This is spiritual engineering at work. And let's be honest for a second. You felt it. You knew something wasn't right. You felt the shift before it happened. You tried to convince yourself to hold on, to be the bigger person, to love through it. But chosen ones aren't meant to carry snakes. You were trying to feed people who were only there to eat you. You are not here to be devoured. You are here to be deployed into purpose, into power, into alignment. And nothing sharpens you like betrayal. Nothing wakes you up like heartbreak. Nothing pushes you forward faster than the pain of being undervalued by people who couldn't handle your value in the first place. That pain, it's fuel now. It's not holding you back. It's launching you. Because once you've been stabbed in the back enough times, you learn how to walk with armor. You learn how to spot envy through a smile. You learn how to discern real love from emotional leeches. You stop begging for seats at tables that were never built to hold you. And suddenly, that pain becomes power. Because now, you don't just know your worth. You feel it. You own it. You walk like someone who survived a storm, with fire in their chest and clarity in their eyes. You speak with purpose. You move with direction. You no longer ask for permission. You give notice. What they tried to destroy became your evidence. What they hoped would break you became your breakthrough. The darkness they threw you into, that was just the place where your roots grew deep enough to support the greatness coming next. So here's what you need to remember. The space they left behind was never meant to stay empty. It's being cleared for people who will love you right, support you without envy, and show up for you without hidden motives. And the abundance that's coming, it needed room to land. This isn't just the end of pain, it's the activation of your purpose. You are not here to be understood by those who only see you as competition. You are here to be seen by those who recognize your power and don't flinch when it grows. Your future isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that every moment of suffering had a point. And it did. Because now you walk with eyes wide open. Now you move with intention. Now you know being chosen comes with a cost, but the reward is always heavier. So let them whisper, let them regret, let them sit in the silence they created when they decided your light was too much. You're walking into a season where everything that hurt you becomes irrelevant next to everything that's about to bless you. You didn't lose. You leveled up. And now it's time to collect. Number 4, The setup was spiritual. They thought they were playing you, but they played themselves. Every fake connection was a pop quiz before your breakthrough. Now that you've passed, the universe is bringing in the real ones, the ones who come with keys, not chains. Let's get one thing clear. Nothing that happened to you was random. Not the betrayal, not the love that turned cold, not the loyalty that turned into leeching. Every encounter was an appointment. Every heartbreak, a pop-up exam. And every smile that hid a knife was a test to see if you had finally learned to protect your light like your life depended on it. Because it does. These weren't just people. They were walking mirrors placed in your path to reflect your own wounds back to you, so you could finally see them, so you could stop bleeding for others and start choosing yourself. They were sent to challenge your boundaries, to poke holes in your self-worth, to drain you and make you question your place in the world. Why? To see if you'd give your soul away just to be liked, or if you'd rise up and say, "Enough. I know who I am now." You were overgiving, overextending, overloving, and the universe couldn't let that go on any longer. There's a law, an energetic law, written into the fabric of this universe, and you were violating it. You were letting people feast off your energy while you starved. And that's not balance, that's betrayal of your own spirit. So the universe stepped in. Cosmic justice doesn't always come with thunder. Sometimes it comes in the silence after someone walks away. Sometimes it looks like the sudden disappearance of someone you thought would be there forever. And sometimes it looks like you, sitting alone, wondering what went wrong, when the truth is, everything finally went right. Because now you see it, now you feel it, the shift, the clearing. The empty spaces that once held vampires and parasites are now sacred ground, cleansed, prepared, ready for the meeting that was always meant to happen. You're not crazy for wanting depth, for craving real connection. You were just ahead of your time, surrounded by people stuck in survival mode, while your spirit was made for ascension. But now that you've learned the lessons, now that you've proven you can hold your worth, even when no one's clapping, the universe is bringing in someone new, someone aligned, someone equipped, someone who sees you without you having to shrink, explain, or earn it. This isn't just a new friend or lover. This is a force, an ally, a divine arrangement forged from every tear you've cried and every boundary you finally held. They're not coming to complete you. You've already done that. They're coming to add to you, to multiply your vision, to protect your peace, to speak your name in rooms you haven't even entered yet. This is not a coincidence. It's cosmic compensation. Because the universe remembers everything. Every time you gave without return. Every time you lowered your voice so someone else could feel taller. Every time you bent over backwards to be understood by people who had no intention of understanding you. And now it's rebalancing the scales. This meeting, this connection that's about to happen, is a reflection of how far you've come. It's not just about them, it's about you. You finally being in a place where you no longer mistake attention for affection, where you no longer pour into people with holes in their cup, where you no longer ignore red flags just to feel chosen. Because now you know you were chosen, but not by people, by the universe. And when the universe chooses you, it sends people who match your energy, not drain it. People who recognize your light without trying to dim it. People who don't compete with your gifts. They complement them. You're not too much. You're finally just enough for the people meant to receive you. So stop replaying the past. Those people were your proving ground. They were there to make sure you were ready to receive what's coming next without self-sabotaging it. Because the worst thing isn't missing the blessing. It's getting it too early and not knowing how to protect it. But now, you're ready. You've been tested. You've been refined. You've been stripped of everything fake so that what's real could finally find you. And it's on the way. That connection, that collaboration, that divine partnership. Not the kind that drains you, but the kind that reminds you why none of the others worked out. Chosen one, get your energy right. Speak your truth louder. Sharpen your vision, because the meeting is already arranged. And when it shows up, it won't be to fix you. It'll be to run with you. You've done enough surviving. Now, it's time to build the empire. Number 5. You weren't meant to carry it alone. The universe was just waiting for you to let go. The second you stop playing savior to people who enjoy watching you drown, the universe sends a lifeboat that doesn't ask for your story, just tells you, get in. Feel that? That pressure slipping off your shoulders, that breath you didn't know you were holding finally releasing from your chest? That's not relief. That's alignment. That's the moment the universe said, now they're ready. Because you were carrying burdens that didn't belong to you, fighting battles that weren't yours, solving chaos created by people who were never going to return the favor. You weren't helping them, you were bleeding for them. And the truth is, you only kept carrying it because you thought no one else would. But here's the thing. Chosen one, you were never supposed to do this alone. The reason the pressure broke you down was because you were moving outside of alignment, trying to be the healer, the fixer, the one who holds the whole damn building up, while everyone else walked in and out like you were the doorframe, not the foundation. And you took it. You absorbed the pain. You told yourself, if I don't do it, no one will. But the universe heard that, and it said, enough. Because here's what they never told you. The moment you let go of what's breaking you, the universe starts sending what will build you. It doesn't send help to the one clinging to dysfunction. It sends help to the one finally brave enough to walk away from it. And now that you've dropped the dead weight, the scales have shifted, the tide is turning, and you better believe reinforcements are coming. No, not just anyone. The person being sent to you, they're not a placeholder, they're not another test, they're not another lesson in disguise. They are a power move by the universe itself, an asset, a mirror, a door, a key. This connection isn't about romance or friendship or status. It's about strategy. This is alignment on a cellular level, the kind of energy that doesn't knock quietly. It kicks the door in and says, I got you now. Let's go. You've been outnumbered for too long, misunderstood, underestimated, surrounded by people who took from you and called it love, who watched you drown and called it growth. But the universe, it's been watching too, and it just hit a point where cosmic law demanded correction. And so now, someone is being deployed into your path. Not a savior. Don't get it twisted. You didn't need saving. You needed support. You needed someone with eyes sharp enough to see your value, with hands strong enough to carry their own weight, and with a spirit clean enough not to poison yours. And that's who's coming. This person will not make you question your worth. They'll remind you of it. They won't shrink when you shine. They'll hand you the mic and tell you to go louder. They don't want to compete. They want to collaborate. And you'll feel it, not in your mind, but in your spirit. You'll feel peace, not adrenaline. You'll feel safety, not confusion. You'll feel momentum, not pressure. Because that's what it looks like when the universe orchestrates, not just allows. When it aligns someone to meet you in motion, not sit back and watch you hustle in exhaustion. But here's the catch. You have to be ready to receive it. You've spent so long in survival mode that you've convinced yourself no one is coming, that you have to do it all, that asking for help is weakness, and needing support is failure. Wrong. What's weak is staying loyal to struggle when abundance is knocking. What's failure is refusing to be helped when help is sent. So when this person shows up, don't sabotage it. Don't analyze it to death. Don't try to match it to your old patterns. This isn't that. This is new ground. This is higher level. This is the proof that the universe didn't forget you. It was just waiting for you to stop choosing the ones who were never chosen for you. This is the shift. The one you prayed for with no words. The one you earned in silence. The one you were prepared for by every storm, every loss, every fake connection that nearly made you quit. And now it's your time to be lifted. Chosen one, help is not coming. Help is already on the way. Number 6. This is bigger than you. The universe scheduled. This meeting before you even knew you'd need it. They're not just arriving on time. They are the time. Some connections you choose. Others are assigned. This one, it's not luck. It's not a coincidence. It's not just someone you bumped into. This is a cosmic appointment, an alignment so exact, even your past self would call it impossible. And yet, here they come. They might walk in quietly, no thunder, no spotlight. Maybe it's a business call, a mutual introduction, a friend of a friend, or even just a name that shows up on your screen that you feel something about, before a word is even spoken. But understand this. The power behind this connection is not in how it begins. It's in what it's meant to build. Because this person isn't just carrying charm or potential. They carry blueprints. They walk with strategy, not struggle. Their presence feels like clarity, like momentum, like purpose in human form. They don't come with confusion, mixed signals, or shallow words. They come with execution, vision, and a calm certainty that hits different. They already know who they are, and when they look at you, they see who you are too. Not who you've been pretending to be, not the version you've been surviving with, but the one you buried under years of overgiving, self-doubt, and trying to fit in rooms that never deserved your presence. This person is a mirror, but not the kind that reflects your flaws. They reflect your greatness. They'll say the things you forgot about yourself. They'll challenge your limits, not because they doubt you, but because they refuse to watch you settle for less than your design. This is not someone you chase. This is someone who shows up when you've stopped chasing what's beneath you, when your spirit finally gets tired of clinging to broken pieces, and you open up space for real alignment to land. And here's what will hit the deepest. They know things you don't, not because you're lesser, but because you've carried the weight alone for too long, and the universe is balancing that equation now. You've always been the visionary, the doer, the light. But you haven't always had the strategy. You haven't had someone who could stand next to your fire and say, "Let's make this flame a legacy." This person is that. They've been through their own storms. They didn't skip the work, they just did it earlier. And now they're being placed in front of you, not to overshadow you, but to fortify you, not to lead you, but to walk beside you with intention. Power recognizes power. And when two people who've done the work connect, it's not a spark, it's a signal. But let's be clear, this isn't about romance. This isn't about fantasy. This is about foundation. This is the type of connection that upgrades your mindset, your finances, your network, your energy, not because you need saving, but because your next level needs structure. And they come with the bricks. Don't let the casual entrance fool you. This meeting has been in motion since long before your heartbreaks, before your betrayals, before your glow-up. This person was being shaped just like you, elsewhere, silently, intentionally. And now, the timeline is merging. Not by chance, by cosmic design. Because you weren't meant to build this vision alone. You weren't meant to carry this abundance by yourself. You weren't meant to keep guessing at how to multiply what you were born with. Chosen one, this isn't random. This is recovery. This is activation. This is the answer to everything you thought had been ignored. And here's the most important part. You had to become this version of yourself to be able to handle this connection. Because if they had shown up when you were still in survival mode, you would have rejected them. You would have felt unworthy. You would have sabotaged it, thinking they were too much, when in reality, they were the match to your fire. But now you're ready. You've buried the old version. You've done the work. You've cleared the parasites, and the universe sees that. So now, it's delivering someone who doesn't ask what you bring to the table. They recognize you are the table. So stand tall. Don't overthink it. Don't minimize it. When they show up, you'll know. And when you feel that pull, don't run, don't shrink, don't let the fear of the past destroy the gift of the now. This isn't an accident. This is a predestined connection, and it's already en route. Number 7. You've been walking this road alone. Now it's time to join the ones who know what you're made of. You weren't meant to do this alone. Power multiplies when it connects with power. And now your tribe is calling. Chosen one, if you've made it this far, through the betrayal, the inner war, the shedding, the awakening, then you already know this path is real. You've been feeling the pressure, the shift, the pull. You've lost people, outgrown identities, shattered illusions, and still you rise. But here's the truth. No one tells you loud enough. Ascension isn't meant to be done alone. Isolation was a phase. Necessary, yes, but temporary. It was where you met yourself, where you learned to survive, where you burned away the versions of you that were built for approval, not purpose. But now that you've stepped into this next chapter, you don't need isolation. You need alignment. And that's exactly what the Obsidian Inner Order is. This isn't a club. It's not some fake community full of surface-level vibes and empty motivation. This is the nexus, where real ones meet, build, sharpen, and ascend together. You've been praying for the right people, asking for answers, hoping for a space where your energy doesn't feel too much. Well, here it is. Inside the Inner Order, over 450 chosen ones gather every single week, not just to talk, but to go deep, to crack codes, share downloads, trade wisdom, to speak about the things the world tries to silence. Targeted energy warfare, psychological tactics, astral practices, neural upgrades, financial frequency, purpose recalibration. You name it, we get into it. And no, it's not surface. These aren't fluff conversations about vibes and good energy. This is surgical-level knowledge, shared in a container of respect, fire, and undeniable power. And if you can't make it live, every session is recorded. So the keys are always available when you're ready to unlock. But here's what really makes it different. The people. Every single member of this space has walked through the fire. You'll find CEOs, mystics, warriors, healers, creators, survivors, people who've been betrayed, mocked, isolated, underestimated, and still chose light. People who have cried alone in the dark and now build empires with that same pain. This isn't where you have to explain your purpose. This is where people get it, because they've lived it too. And the private Discord? It's electric. It's more than just chat. It's where the movement breathes. Topics you've never heard discussed anywhere else. Techniques the mainstream will never understand. Deep dives into sacred knowledge, forbidden texts, energy work, nutrition for ascension, body detox, real tactical tools. It's the stuff no one's talking about, but everyone should be. This isn't about being woke, it's about being awakened, activated, tuned in, and surrounded by people who don't shrink from your power. They celebrate it, they enhance it, they challenge it, they respect it, because they know iron sharpens iron. So, if you've been waiting for your tribe, this is it. If you've been tired of having to dumb yourself down, hide your light, or pretend you don't feel everything you feel, this is your signal. If you've been overloaded with surface-level talk, surrounded by people who only care about appearances while you're trying to transcend the damn matrix, you've found the real ones now. This is not for everyone. It's not supposed to be. That's why it's powerful. That's why it works. Because this space was built for the chosen, for those who didn't fit, for those who outgrew their environment, for those who feel the universe pushing them into leadership, into visibility, into their full potential, and need backup that understands the weight of that mission. You've done the solo phase. Now, step into the circle. Not to be saved, but to ascend together. Because the next level of your journey, it's not just about what you do, it's about who you walk with, and the Inner Order is already waiting. Time to take your seat. Number 8. You're not just meant to be rich, you're meant to be dangerous with it. They laughed when you were broke. They watched you give and give until there was nothing left. And now they'll have to watch you build an empire with everything they thought they drained. Let's be real. This has never been just about money. It's always been about value. How much of your energy was taken without being returned? How much of your wisdom was borrowed but never credited? How many ideas were picked clean from your spirit, like vultures feasting on your light? And through it all, you kept pouring, you kept giving, you kept showing up even when no one showed up for you. But something is shifting. No, something has already shifted. The old constraints are cracking. The invisible barriers that kept your abundance on a leash are being dismantled, not by effort alone, but by cosmic force. The same universe that watched you give from nothing is now positioning you to receive like never before. But this time, it's not just blessings falling from the sky. It's strategy. Because what's coming isn't just wealth, it's power. The kind of power that comes from knowing how to build, sustain, and scale what you've earned. This is not lucky money. This is aligned income. This is legacy building, asset stacking, wealth with intention energy. And if you're reading this, it's not a prediction, it's your confirmation. You didn't hustle in vain. Every sacrifice, every late night, every underpaid job, every time you helped someone grow while you stayed stuck, none of it was wasted. It was compounding, building behind the scenes, waiting for your frequency to match what the universe has been holding for you all along. And now the door's opening. But don't get it twisted. This isn't about chasing riches so you can flex. This is about equipping the chosen with what they should have had all along. The resources to protect their purpose, build their vision, and never beg to be seen again. This is about making sure no one ever has the power to silence you because you can't pay the rent. This is about making sure your voice, your mission, your calling can't be bought, censored, or controlled. Because that's what real wealth does. It doesn't just change your bank account, it changes your stance. It lets you walk away from any table where you're disrespected. It lets you choose peace without sacrificing survival. It lets you turn down fake help because you've finally got options. And options, that's power. So stop shrinking, stop apologizing for wanting more, stop thinking being spiritual means being broke. The universe doesn't reward self-sacrifice, it rewards alignment. And when you're aligned, money becomes magnetized, strategy becomes second nature, resources flow, partnerships click, ideas hit, and you stop surviving and start scaling. So yes, this is more than a membership. It's more than some group. This is a movement of chosen ones waking up to their full power, financial, mental, spiritual, and global. Because when we stop fighting each other and start building with each other, we don't just rise, we take over. We stop being the underdogs. We stop being the ones who had to make do. We stop playing small to fit into rooms that were never built to hold our energy. And we start creating our own rooms. This is wealth with purpose. This is currency backed by consciousness. And if you've been feeling like something's coming, you're right. But it only lands when you're in position. This is your positioning moment. Stop scrolling. Stop hesitating. Stop asking if it's real. You've always known this was coming. Every vision, every pull in your gut, every time you dreamed bigger than your circumstances allowed, you weren't delusional. You were tapped in. You just didn't have the tools. Now you do. So here it is. Your invitation, your confirmation, your next move. Click the link, step into alignment, join the movement. Let the world feel what happens when the chosen are no longer tired, broke, and surviving, but focused, funded, and building empires. Your wealth is waiting. Your strategy is loading. Your season is here. Move like it. Number 9. You didn't come this far to play small. You came to wear the crown. The crown was never lost. You just had to bleed enough to prove you could carry its weight. You were built for this moment, not created by chance, not thrown into this world without purpose. You were engineered for impact. Every struggle, every betrayal, every dark night where you thought you wouldn't make it, that was training, not punishment. You didn't just survive. You were being forged. The delays, the isolation, the heartbreak, they weren't setbacks. They were refining fires, shaping you into the one who could stand tall when everyone else crumbled. The crown you're about to wear wasn't handed out. It was earned. And not through entitlement, but through endurance. Because only those who've been broken and rebuilt can rule with wisdom. Only those who've walked alone can lead without needing validation. And that's you now, standing at the threshold between who you were and who you're about to become. This is the transformation point, the moment the chaos clicks into place. The past stops haunting you and starts making sense. Every fragment of your journey lines up with divine precision. Every scar becomes a symbol, not of pain, but of power. And the question is no longer, are you ready? The question is, will you finally stop running from what you were born to be? Because the crown is already here. The calling has already been issued. The kingdom is already watching. All that's left is your choice. Do you keep playing down your power to make others comfortable? Do you keep hiding because you're afraid of being too much? Or do you rise fully, unapologetically, and claim what's been yours from the beginning? Chosen one, the wait is over. The universe has cleared the board. The parasites are gone. The old roles are dead. What remains is you, raw, refined, ready. And this next chapter, it requires your full presence. No more half-stepping. No more shrinking. The crown is heavy, but so are you. With wisdom, with grit, with light that can't be faked, and a presence that shifts rooms. So wear it. Not for ego, not for clout, but because the mission demands it. Because someone has to lead, someone has to carry the vision, someone has to walk first so others can believe it's possible. That someone is you. Rise, not just because it's time. Rise because it's already yours. The crown, the calling, the kingdom. It's all waiting. Step into it. And now, as the final piece falls into place, understand this. You were never becoming the chosen one. You've always been chosen. Everything you lost, everything you endured, it all led you right here. To your crown, your power, your rise. No more waiting. No more shrinking. It's time. If this message hit your soul, like this video, subscribe for more truth made for chosen ones. Drop the number 77 in the comments if you're claiming your crown, and share this with someone else walking through the fire. Let's awaken the others. The time is now. Let them feel the shift.